1, 2, is this on? Yo, Jimmy, hit me with that triple H.
And we're back, baby. This might be one of the greatest days in the history of all of mankind. And that is not because Vincent Kennedy Bucci is wearing Jacksonville's finest Limp Bizkit shirt, $3 bill, y'all. Google search that. He did it all for the Nookie. I did it all for this here championship gold. And I plan on defending that. But until then, it's yours truly the wins. And I am not alone after all. It's not about me. It's not about me. It's about Damascus Dez. And thank God I don't have to read that soliloquy, Vincent Kennedy Bucci. And we are here to talk about all things Backlash. And of course, to tactfully celebrate the incoming champion of When's World. But you know, without further ado, I don't want to belabor this session here. You people came to talk wrestling, did you not? Did you not? And so that's what we are here to provide you with. So we are going to go match by match and talk about all the goings on in Backlash. Now, if you're like me and you don't have ESPN, you had to get the results from Vincent Kennedy Bucci on Twitter. So he is a must follow. He's a great follow. So do that right now. Okay, now that you've done that, let's get to the show results. Opening match, Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. Booch, let's talk about who won the points as we go throughout this day.
Yes, for this one, Wenz and Dez, you guys both got the points on this one. This was an opening match that was very well done until it reached a certain point, and then it just dragged on from there. And because here's the thing. Braun Breaker, regardless of what anybody wants to say on the internet, this victory was clean. Not squeaky clean, but pretty damn clean. And I'll tell you why. Because at one point in the match, as you see, the Vision comes out. Out comes Austin Theory. Out comes Logan Paul. Paul Heyman has the ref distracted. This is literally old school heel 101 shit we're seeing. And it's working beautifully. Beautifully. Seth, of course, though, pretty much takes out the Vision, no problem. Austin Theory disposed of him. Logan Paul disposes of him. Seth Rollins then slides back into the ring. Braun Breaker, boom, hits a spear. Goes for the cover. Seth kicked out. That's where the problem lied. And here's where the problem lied. See, the whole point about being a heel is you're willing to do dastardly shit to win. But if you're going to do dastardly shit to win, the win has to be right away. You don't have somebody kick out and then drag out for another 10, 15 minutes, because by this point you have back and forth action. So Seth had multiple chances to win following that. So the distraction didn't really do much. So if Braun was going to go over, the match should have ended right there. If you go past this point, one of two things has to happen. Either A, the babyface has to go over, or B, you do what Desmond predicted and have Bronson Reed come out and provide an even bigger distraction. Because then the heel, again, Bronson Reed can interfere, Braun Breaker can get his victory, heel gets his heat. There's a reason for this to continue. At this point, Braun Breaker got a pretty decisive victory here.
I don't think they want this rivalry to keep going so solidly, though. And that's something that we feel like we always want to talk about, oh, this rivalry is going to keep going and keep going and keep going. But at this point, even if it does keep going, it's going to be because Rollins wants revenge, not because of anything else. And Rollins has the right to want revenge. Now, that being said, you're sitting here saying, oh, this distraction didn't do much. That distraction got that first spear. That spear has been shown to be devastating. He hit 3 of them in this match. And how he hit him 3 of them in this past week that Rollins has been there. Each one continued to build Rollins to saying, I came back. I'm not making myself look weak. I came back from this injury, even though I've lost both my matches, and I have a reason to. This was not about making the heel tactics look bad. It was about making Rollins look great after his return, despite not winning a match.
Despite not winning 2. And dude's lost back-to-back, though.
Right.
That's not good.
I see your point, but you have to look at the whole picture. And the reason it works is because they did this whole thing where I went from Bronson Reed to Braun Strowman to fucking Braun Breaker. There's too goddamn many of them. But Braun Breaker has been wearing Seth down constantly, attacking him constantly. So the heel tactics isn't just what happened in this match. It's the whole story has been the heel tactics. So the fact that he was able to get one cheap spear off of it was enough to say, okay, now Rollins is on the back foot. And Rollins is going to stay on the back foot trying to fight up from the back, which is basic face tactics 101.
No, I can see your point there, but here's the thing. We just saw him get choked out by Gunther. We just saw Braun Breaker spear his ass. Seth says, I'm going to get revenge on the Vision. Like, walk twice in a row. Why would I believe the third time's going to be different?
He got choked out by Gunther because of interference. He got beat by the Vision. He got beat by Braun Breaker because of constant interference and wear down prior to the match. He wasn't 100% into this. He was never going to be 100% into this.
True. But if I make counterpoint here, when Gunther choked him out, it was like within 1 or 2 minutes of Braun Breaker beating the shit out of them. They didn't go another 10, 15 like they did here.
But at that point, Seth didn't need to look strong as much as he did in this second match. Because he's losing a second consecutive match, he needed to look strong in this one for him to have any kind of say whatsoever in the future. And that is something we have to view on. It's not always just about the heels looking good. We got to make the face look good too. And that was important in this story.
No, I see that. But I'm just saying, like, if the heel's going to go over, is what I'm saying, is end it there. Don't drag it on to the 10, 15 minutes, is my point.
But if you do it that way, then you end up making Seth look weaker. And that they did it this way.
He got distracted by the Vision. He gets speared. He could say, hey, the Vision's speared again. I now have a reason to go fight again. But if you just got speared, like, decisively in the middle of the ring, again, I'm talking about, like, getting a reason to fight again when you clearly just got your ass beat.
I honestly think what we're going to end up happening, because he's been working on it here, we're going to end up with Seth working with the Street Profits. That's the build that they're putting on here.
Yeah.
We're going to end up with that.
Yeah, he's somehow going to convince them. I'm just saying that, again, how they ended it, what I'm saying, it would work, though. It's like, I need the Vision's help. Why? You just beat... I mean, no, you just got your ass beat. Never mind. Forget what I said.
Yeah, he needs help. He knows he needs help. He knows he can't do this on his own because he is outnumbered the way he has been outnumbering everybody for the last year.
Yeah, sorry. I thought I had a point that last time, but I realized I've been smoking this too much. I just got fried. My brain got fried on that last part. Sorry.
So thank you. One more for the Dez because Dez knows what the fuck he's talking about. Thank you.
One for Danhausen. That was a great point, counterpoint, but at the end of the day, Dez and I got the point. And
Yeah.
Booch, you were down 0-1 as we move towards Trick Williams with Lil Yachty in tow versus Sami Zayn. And of course, yours truly was correct, along with Dez and Vincent Kennedy Bucci. Trick Williams getting the win at Sami Zayn's expense. Honestly, I thought Lil Yachty took some believable bumps. I saw some highlights on Twitter. I love the haluva kick ringside. I thought he sold it well. I mean, for a guy who isn't a wrestler, I feel like he's spending some time understanding how to sell. And
that is something that we're seeing a lot from the celebrities that are doing WWE stuff here recently. These last few years with celebrities have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like when fucking Bad Bunny learned to do a destroyer, he learned doing stuff like that. He was actually getting in the ring and learning to do shit right. And before that, we had Stephen Amell when he was working with Stardust. You know, we've had a lot of it in the last decade, really good celebrities coming in and making a big point to actually do things right.
real quick, I would even say that they've surpassed the days of WCW and the No Limit Soldiers. Do you guys recall when Silk the Shocker ran into the ring?
The No Limit Soldiers were pretty badass, but I can see the
They
point.
were, but they're getting to the point now where you're seeing that was like a 1 or 2 month thing. This is becoming more prevalent, and I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
You know?
They gotta keep in mind, it's hard to top David Arquette when he's a former world champion.
It's true. He was former world champion. You can't take that away from him. I mean, you really can't.
You should.
Two-time world champion like The Miz is, but we don't have time to talk about The Miz right now. We'll get to him later.
Wait. If you're gonna talk about The Miz, you gotta do it right. He's a 2-time Grand Slam champion.
True.
Thank you.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Don't underplay him.
Yeah, rightfully do here. One day Booch will accept that. But Trick Williams getting the win. Lil Yachty in tow. Y'all's thoughts on this United States Championship match?
It was exactly what it needed to be. And I like the fact that we have solidified Sami Zayn's heel turn, even if it was by killing the Gingerbread Man. and then having Lil Yachty be inside the Gingerbread Man costume to take him back out. Like, it's been entertaining as fuck. Okay. Is it goofy? Yes, but goofy wrestling is a lot of times the best wrestling. And and when it came down to the match between Trick Williams and Sami Zayn, the match itself was beautiful. It was exactly what it needed to be. Trick Williams is still the champion, which is exactly what we needed. So it's great.
Yeah, I remember Dez sent me a message like first of all, he said they killed the ginger. That was what he started with. And I went, wait. And I had to call him and go, which ginger are we talking about here? And he said, oh, because Desmond and I know different gingers. So we had to double check. And he said, oh no, there's a gingerbread man on TV. I'm like, they killed a ginger, what? So I look at the footage and I went,
they caught the Gingerbread Man.
And I'm sitting here going, it's like one of those things where this is so fucking stupid, but it is making me laugh kind of thing. And I'm just like, okay, I'm sort of getting it. I'm like, the mechanical wires and everything. It's just kind of like, all right. It's a segment. I can let it go. At least there was no Gingerbread Man near the title match. So I could deal with that. So I'm like, okay, this is kind of funny. But what I liked about this match was this. Sami was so much of a heel with the candy cane thing and beating the shadow out of Trick that at one point the ref got distracted. Lil Yachty cracked Sami with the cane when he was about to do the haluva kick. And I'm thinking, because Sami did it so many times, it's like a receipt. It's not Lil Yachty's like not technically interfering. He's kind of evening it up because Sami was cheating first. So it makes Lil Yachty look good to get the pop when he cracks him with the cane. It doesn't make Trick look like a heel. It makes Trick look like a face because Sami's been beating the shit out of him with it for like a good couple minutes. So that part was beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. It is okay for the face to do some cheating as long as it is a return shot. Not
yes. That's when they know. When it's a return shot, when you're giving a
or it's Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, he got away with it. Somehow he gets away. He gets away with it because of the gimmick. It fit the gimmick. But it's one of those things where because when a heel is cheating throughout half the match and a babyface gets, but here's the thing: when the babyface responds with cheating, it's once. You get one receipt and that's it. You don't do it throughout the entire match. Just that it's kind of like when the Undertaker was hitting Brock Lesnar in the balls for weeks and weeks and months, and then finally in their last match, what we thought was their last match, he kicked him in the balls and then hit him with an F5. It's like, yeah, he hit me with the balls 20 times already. I'm allowed one nut shot.
This next match we were all perfect on, guys, as Danhausen gets the win against Miz and Kit. However, I will say none of us saw the mini Danhausens coming. Y'all's thoughts on this? Dez, you go first. Go ahead.
I'm going to start by saying if we had watched SmackDown before making predictions, they said they actually made a point of saying telling Dez like, well, you can't. It's not like he can clone himself. He's like, oh, clone myself. And
the cloning machine. Yeah.
Right. So they mentioned it on SmackDown. We recorded before SmackDown. We didn't know it was going to happen.
True.
But they did kind of sell that ahead of the pay-per-view. So it's not our fault. It's not our fault.
It was clever though. And
it fit the gimmick.
Yeah, it was a gimmick match to begin with.
And the best part was when fucking Kit Wilson threw the clone back in the cloning machine and it turned back on and 5 of them come back out. That shit was hilarious. That was awesome. I loved it so much.
I saw that clip also post pay-per-view. Boots, your thoughts on this one? And do you have more respect for the Miz now because he's willing to make even more of an ass out of himself to propel and motivate other wrestlers?
Well, again, the Miz, I've never taken the Miz seriously, so this doesn't really hurt me that much. So I was fine with that. I do feel like I look at Kit Wilson and I'm like, that I don't know if that helped him at all. But I just kind of felt like here's the thing. I love Danhausen. Let's specify this right now so there's no misunderstanding. I am a Danhausen fan. Danhausen, I found him entertaining WWE, AEW, on the indies. I love Danhausen. So this is not a Danhausen hate thing. I do think sometimes the silliness can go a little too far. It can be a bit much. This that I felt was a bit much. I felt like, okay, I like the curse thing. I was okay with the pyro going up Kit Wilson's ass. That made me laugh. I like the referee cramping up and having to use his left hand for the 3, which was great psychology on the referee's part. He didn't forget that his arm was cramped. And again, you have to remember, the only reason the curse thing even works is because of Don dropping the Intercontinental title to Penta. So they've done, even though there's things that are goddamn ridiculous, there was logic in all of it, and I could follow it. This one, for me, not much. I couldn't really follow this one. I felt like, it's like, to me, let me try to put this in random. There's 2 other comedy wrestlers I know about. Well, 3, actually. There's Santino Marella, and there's Grado. Santino would always do the goofy things, like mess up people's names, like, Golden Das, Roddy the Piper, that kind of thing. Or he would mess up all of Stone Cold's catchphrases, like, these are the bottom lines, or, I'm going to stop the mud pie. Like, he would do goofy shit, and it was funny. But sometimes Santino would get pushed to a point where I'm like, okay, I got to stop joking now. I got to kick this guy's ass. Grado was the same way. He comes out to Madonna's Like a Prayer. He's doing the dancing. I'm going to fight you, big man. Or one time, he was in the X Division. He had to lose weight. So he's on a treadmill running. They're like, I need to make the weight so I can go fight for the X Division title. Then they say, dude, they got rid of the weight thing a long time ago after he's already burned like 100 calories. So shit like that's funny. But once they got in the ring, it was the ring. Because it's like, he was taken seriously. He had a match with Drew Galloway. This is serious. He got to fight for the title, kick his ass for the title. Danhausen, I felt this point, it's like, okay, I want the Miz to mentor me. He doesn't want to mentor me. I'm going to curse him until he mentors me. Finally, he's going to mentor me. Then he beats the shit out of me. At that point, it's like, okay, now Danhausen has to kick this guy's ass. So I was expecting, like we all did, expecting different partners and stuff. I felt CM Punk would have been another good choice because him and Danhausen have a history of being friends. Punk even said once in an interview he needed new boots. He bought Danhausen's because they fit perfectly, gave him some money for it, like human monies, and did all that. So I felt like that could have been a great moment. Would have got a loud pop from the crowd. Punk didn't have shit to do. Miz could even come out and go, why would you lower yourself to fighting Danhausen? He's like, you know what? I just want to punch you in the face. Boom. That would have been great. You would have had a match. But instead, they bring out the mini house, and it's like, okay, this is going to be a permanent clown show. Like, that's... And then the midgets kicking both their asses. So, it's kind of... Like, everybody's like, the Miz is a 2-time Grand Slam champion, and a midget's kicking his ass. Not much of a flex there for me. And then I'm looking at Kit Wilson, and I'm like... And he's got a contract. He's going to make some money, but if he thought he was going to be a main event player, they shot that down right there. So...
If anybody thought Kit Wilson was ever going to be a main event player, they were full of shit to begin with. He was never going to be more than a tag team wrestler.
Obviously. And they made that very clear here, is what I'm saying.
So Boots, my question for you before we move on to Iyo Sky and Asuka is, where do you go from here with the mini Danhausens? Like, are they going to be part of his presence? Like, because how do you abandon them at this point? Or do you only bring them out selectively at pay-per-views and such?
You have to be selective.
Yeah, they did it for his original entrance, a little bit kind of going on, and they did it for the...
Well, the original entrance, a bunch of women, was a bunch of female
Oh, yeah, you're right.
They had the midget thing at WrestleMania, which was funny because there was a WrestleMania segment with John Cena.
Yeah.
They're getting carried to the back by the midgets. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah, that was great.
It's when it's in the ring, that's where I have the problem. I don't mind it being a backstage segment. I don't mind it being a big thing. Like, if you're doing a mini segment over here and you want the Miz to do something funny, like, okay, I get that. But when it comes to in-ring bell-to-bell wrestling, that's where I draw the line.
But it was, I mean, in all fairness, the dude could wrestle. The little midget dude could wrestle. And he was doing a good job with the wrestling. Everything he did was on point. His springboards were fucking flawless. Everything was beautiful. The dude knew what he was doing. It's not like he was just some random Joe that couldn't do anything. He was kind of there for a joke. He was talented. And he did it the right way. He was throwing himself around, using the weight while moving, using momentum to make a difference. And then multiple times throughout the match, they would start getting stomped and pushed around, and Danhausen would get in the way, and things would happen. It would break it up again. And then only when they were able to get the momentum again were they doing anything. When Kit Wilson and Miz were getting the lead, they stayed in the lead with the midget. Once again, because Michael Cole specified on air, they asked to be called midgets. These particular guys asked to be called midgets. That is why we are saying the words we are saying.
Exactly. Yes. And plus, I'm not going to say little. I don't like saying little person. It just sounds weird because a toddler can be a little person. That's just weird to me. And and you want to be called a dwarf, you have to know how to swing an axe. That's my rule.
Dwarf,
you can swing an axe.
Makes sense because
but if it's a pickaxe or a battle axe, I'll call you a dwarf.
Well, dwarf makes sense. I'll say this: dwarf makes sense because the disorder is called dwarfism.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that.
Okay.
So I don't know how we transition there, but we'll try. All of us got a point on this match. So that's 2 matches back to back that all 3 of us were correct on, because all 3 of us picked Trick, all 3 of us picked Danhausen and mystery guest, right? But let's follow. I can't wait to follow the storyline with Danhausen and see what they do with these mini Danhausens. And then there was Iyo Sky and Asuka. Booch, you went with "We Want Kyrie" chants and Asuka wins. You were incorrect. Iyo Sky did defeat Asuka. Did you? Again, I didn't have a chance to watch this live, so I'm not going to pretend that I saw it when I didn't. Were there, in fact, "We Want Kyrie" chants?
Not really.
Yes. It did happen.
For like a couple seconds, and then it stopped.
Right. It wasn't. They didn't take over the show.
Yeah. It didn't take over the show. So the internet's basically full of shit, is what I got from that. But the match was, it was a good match, but, and again, it was just there. And then Iyo Sky went over, and then everybody's thinking like Asuka, the big speculation is that Asuka's leaving the company.
Actually, okay, seems like you got extra information, but I've got extra information.
Okay, let's see if it's the same one.
Okay.
Apparently, from what I heard, she has a family issue in Japan. She's taking care of some family affairs, and that's why she's on TV. So she's not gone for good. It's just for now.
She is taking an extended leave, but she has something like a 4-year contract right now that she just re-signed. Yeah, she I think it was a 4 or 5 year contract that she just signed in 2024.
Okay.
So she's still got a couple years on her contract. She's not being released. She is taking an extended leave of absence due to a family issue at home.
Yes, she's not re-released. She's not retiring. She's just taking time off, and then she'll be back. So that's why she put over Iyo Sky the way she did. Plus, at this point, she had to turn babyface because there's nothing left for her to do as a heel. And with Kyrie out the way, she's not going to get much TV time anyway, I don't think. So she can take the extended leave and it doesn't hurt anything because they were pretty much relegated to tag team wrestling, and they can bring Asuka back if they want to give her some rebrand if they want to see how they do that. But ultimately, Asuka as a heel, there's nothing left for her to do. That's the thing. It's not that she can't be a heel. It's just there's nothing left. Like, she needed to win this match or go away.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where right now, the women's roster is stacked right now in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is phenomenal right now. And Asuka no longer has a tag team partner. Asuka no longer has, they would have to do a complete rebuild of her credibility for her to get into a title picture. It's just so much that would have to happen right now for her to be a star again. And I love Asuka. I've always loved Asuka, even when Vinny hated Asuka. But yeah, it's one of those situations where they did this the right way. They knew she was going to be leaving. They set up Iyo because Io's a star, one of the best wrestlers in the world. And almost everybody agrees with that. They don't say that she is the best wrestler, but she's one of the best current wrestlers in the world. And especially in a one-on-one match, it is hard to get by her on that. So having her get over on this was the right move. And at this point, we are 4 for 4, me and Wenz. And I'm going to say this is the last match me and Wenz got right because there were only 5 matches and we got 4 of them right. But that being said, Wenz is champion. Not because he did it, because we all know he just rode my coattails on the answers. But the real reason here that Wenz is champion is because he picked the only superstar on WWE 2K25 that had a 97 rating on Vinny's game, because Vinny didn't unlock the people who matched it. It's Vinny's fault. I'm blaming Vinny.
Hey, excuse me for having projects and not having time to game. That's really what it boils down to. I don't have as much time to video game as I'd like.
Well, Des, you could sit here and say that I rode your coattails and that, I was waiting for your predictions every time. But if you recall, as you watch the last show, you'll notice that not every prediction went in order. For example, we let the resident champion, Vinny, go first, then Desmond. So, of course, I want to be a gentleman. I want to be a good host and let my guests go first. And nothing to do with maybe trying to get your insight or opinion on what's actually going on, since you guys watch. Completely random. It's a matter of respect here. We don't have time to continue this conversation. We still have one more match to get to. And, of course, that is Roman Reigns defeating Jacob Fatu for the World Heavyweight Championship. Vincent Kennedy Bucci, quick recap on who chose who for this one.
I chose Roman Reigns. You guys picked Jacob Fatu, mostly because a lot of people were convinced that because Roman's not going to be around for the month of June, and also people are thinking he might be leaving because of pay cuts or whatever. But I felt but I did know he was advertised for Clash in Italy, which is in a couple weeks. So that's why I picked him to win, because I figured if he's going to be at Clash in Italy, he's walking in Italy with the title at least. Whether he defends it there and loses, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I knew he was at least winning here.
What'd you guys think about the actual match, though, in and of itself?
Loved it. Thought it was beautiful. Like I said, I mentioned it was match of the night. I stuck by that. I was not high when I said it, even though I was high when Desmond called me later. But that's just because it was Mother's Day. I was unwinding. So I had nowhere else to be. So I'm just hanging out with my mom and drinking seltzers. So anyway, there. So I was being mellow at that point. But the reason I said that was because I love the back and forth action. I love the psychology there. Obviously, what I liked about it was, obviously, we had the big question about the tongue and death grip. And I know that they had the tongue and death grip. What I liked about it was they rolled out of the ring with it. And at one point, when Roman got free, here's what he did. He pulled a Pete Dunne and started messing with the fingers of Jacob Fatu. If you saw correctly, he grabbed the fingers and kind of did that little separate thing that Pete Dunne does. He was injuring the ones that were taped. He took the hand and slammed it into the ring post. That same hand, he was weakening the hand that Jacob uses. So that way, when the tongue and death grip gets in, if Roman does break out of it, there's the psychology. He injured the hand. Also, in the finish, when the turnbuckle pad came off, what do? He slammed Jacob's head into the turnbuckle. You hit the metal exposed turnbuckle. You're on Dream Street. So that got it free. That let him hit the spear. 1, 2, 3. So that's how you were able to go, okay, he's got the tongue and death grip. It's not knocking him out. Why? Because the hand was weakened early in the match. And again, when he broke it the first time, they fell through the ropes. So the tongue and death grip was protected somewhat in that match because of those little things. So that's why I felt the match was beautifully done.
I feel like there were several major issues with this match that pissed me off.
Okay.
First off is how many times he locked that fucking move in. He locked that tongue and death grip in like 3, 4, 5 fucking times in that match.
I recall 3. You might have, maybe there were 2 others I didn't see, but I remember 3 at least.
It was consistently, he was locking it in. He locked it in outside. He locked it in inside. And a couple of times, it's like, I feel like this is the first real match that he's had with this move. And they immediately weaken it. Immediately. Like, he's not had time to fucking work it. He ain't had time to figure this out. It was his first time. And to me, that kills the move. It's like he did multiple times in the very first match that he used it, and it didn't work, not once. So that move's not worth it. That's what that tells me.
Well,
Maybe it will be when he's not facing somebody like Roman Reigns, though. You know?
But is a move really any good? If you can't use your best move to take out the best person, what good is that fucking move?
But what does your family know more than anybody else? What your strengths and weaknesses are, right? So he's seen, let's just play kayfabe for a minute, right? He's seen this when they were kids. They used to wrestle in the backyard, so on and so forth. Is there a possibility that he had the advantage of understanding that this move not only was going to be moved, but when it would be moved in sequence? And that gave him somewhat of a counter advantage, so to speak.
It just, to me, comes back to the fact that it's the first match. The very first time.
Fair point.
And that's the point I would make. Like you said, first match, first time. This is not an experienced move for him. He needs to learn it more. I mean, every time he's had the Roman with it, it's always been in a contract signing or an in-ring segment. It's never been in a full-blown match. So he needs to learn how to use it in a match.
I can't look at it that way, because to me, if you hit a move in a match for the first time, it needs to mean something, and it didn't. And to me, that's the point.
Oh.
If you can't use the move that's supposed to be super deadly in the match for the first match and get a win off of it, it makes the move look weak. And then the fact that Roman hit fucking 4 spears.
Well, we all know that move is no longer a finisher.
Well, Roman's spear is becoming John Cena's attitude adjustment.
A second rate move. Let's be honest. Come on.
Which sucks, because Roman has, in my opinion, one of the all-time best spears. I've said it since he first started using it, that he's had the best spear since Goldberg.
I've said that's all he has. I mean, and it's enough sometimes.
Yeah. And the reason it's the best spear since Goldberg is the one thing they both have in common. They both played college ball. They got professional football experience being defensive tackles, so they each know how to spear properly, because Goldberg was in UGA. Roman Reigns was
Georgia Tech, yeah.
You know what's really funny about that?
What?
A spear is an illegal tackle in football.
Exactly.
Because you're leading with the crowd.
It's too dangerous. No, because because you're not leading with the crowd. You're charging with your shoulder still, but it's dangerous shot for the ribs. You're supposed to go for a grab and tail and a pull down, not fucking charge and spear.
I don't know if that's true in the NFL. Maybe in college. I'm not sure.
Because there's no padding around the ribs. The padding is all upper chest area.
I don't know if I've ever seen a flag in the NFL for that call, to be honest.
Well, that's because they're taught to tackle properly in the NFL. They don't tackle that way. You'll never see it because it doesn't happen.
Yeah. But the point is, they know how to do it, which is why it worked, because they have defense, so they know how to do it, but they also know it's not legal. But they have the same driving force when they do it. That's why you see like Roman in a corner or Goldberg in a corner, like they would like almost like ready to go, because they know that's how they got to do it. And then boom, they take it down.
And the way that they stretch their full bodies out to put the entire weight into that spear. Like when Bobby Lashley does a spear, I hate it, because Bobby Lashley looks like he hit a brick wall and it forced him to flip instead of the fucking opponent taking it.
Oh yeah. Moose splits with his spear too. I'm like that.
It does not look good. And the only reason Edge's spears ever looked good is because of how the people sold it. Because when Edge hit him, he just kind of turned with him. It's like, dude, you're just hugging him and breaking him down.
Exactly.
It was weak. But the guy sold it, but everybody who he hit with it sold it like it was the worst thing in the world. So that was the only reason Edge got away with it.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean, that was, in essence, all that we did, right, at Backlash. And now, gentlemen, we are 2 weeks away from my title defense in Italia.
Yes.
Clash in Italy on the very last day in this here month of May. And I got to tell you guys, we have some times to have together over the next 2 weeks because there's no telling what's going to happen. You know, and Des, if you're concerned for the next PLE that I'm copying your answers, maybe I'll just go before you on every prediction to settle all disputes.
Oh, that's fine. But I will say now, it's gonna happen. I'm going to get my belt back. It's going to happen.
Well,
There will come a day, but I do believe that it will be in my neck of the woods, so I will need to win that title back for my people.
well, I'll tell you what, guys. There are a couple sure things in life: death, taxes, and a few key catchphrases. One of which is "Have a nice day."
Bang bang.
And when's this time you are cursed?
Not today.